Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Olivia Bersin and I am a journalism and integrated media major. My emphasis is in writing and publishing, and I'm doing my summit presentation on advocating for student funding in higher education. So when I was younger, I heard a quote that stuck with me throughout my time in college and even in other things in my life. And it's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt that says, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." And that was something that I honestly kept with me when I was thinking about things that I thought were out of my abilities or out of my control. I just believed so much in my dreams, and I also started to believe so much in other people's dreams and became very passionate about doing that as well. So we're here at one of the biggest dreams that I've had in my life at graduation, and we're about to step into the professional world, doing something that we've never done before and completing something that we've never completed before. And I think that that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations to you guys and congratulations to me, because I'm super excited. Some of the things that we start thinking about when it's the end of our time here at Biola, and it's the end of all of these crazy assignments that we've had, these crazy papers, these awesome people that we've met, the times when you woke up in the morning and you really just did not feel like going to class. Sometimes you didn't. We start to think about like what this journey has cost us, and we start thinking about the effort that it's cost us, and we start thinking about the money that it's cost us as well. I don't know about you guys, but I've been receiving a lot of loan emails lately, and they've been asking me to set up a financial plan. They've been asking me when I'm going to start my financial plan, and I was like, what? Like, I'm graduating. Don't you know that I don't have time for that? So I'm like going into my career trying to pay back something that I've been striving for. I have been striving to get a job to pay back what I needed to get my job. So I think that that's a little bit of a crazy adventure. And I think that you guys are kind of in the same boat. So I just want to ask a question. How many of you in here are experiencing college loans after you graduate? Okay, so that's about 90% of the students in the classroom. And how many of you really love that you're paying back your college loans after you graduate? That's 0%. All right, awesome. So we're all on the same page. It's not fun, and it's an overwhelming journey. So you guys are a part of 66% of Americans who attend college. You're also now, since you're graduating, a part of the 40% of Americans who are graduating from college. So that's a huge deal. If you raise your hand, you're part of the 70% of Americans who are going to be graduating with college debt. And that's no fun whatsoever. But just to let you know, I honestly believe that the educational investment is worth it. Some statistics here may encourage you. High school graduates on average make about $30,000 a year. If you have your bachelor's degree, you're going to make on average about $50,000 a year. Then if you choose to go into higher education, which I really hope some of you guys are going to do, you make about $70,000 a year on average in America. So something that I thought was a little bit startling was the rise in college tuition over the past 10 years. So over the past 10 years, public universities have risen about 38% from 2005 until 2015. And then private universities have risen about 27%, which is a huge rise as well. The problem is that our jobs have not had a huge increase in the amount that we're making, so we're not able to keep up maybe like past generations have been able to, and it's a huge topic right now if you're watching and following educational news. So I'll talk to you a little bit about my journey here. I'm actually from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're right in the heart of America. I would not encourage anyone to visit there unless you're coming to see me. So yeah, it's not that exciting. But my family's there. These are my brothers and sisters, and then my fiance in the middle there. He's the one who obviously sticks out. He looks like not like us. And 3 of my siblings actually aren't in the picture, so we have 9 kids total. The ones who aren't the little guy in the bottom there, they are all in college. So my parents have 5 students who are in university at the moment. So you can imagine the financial burden that they feel, and then you can imagine how we feel as kids, not able to pay for our own college because we've been in high school and making minimum wage for the past 7 years. So that's been a huge deal. So last year, actually, around this time, it was actually 1 year yesterday, 1 year tomorrow, actually. I felt that God was calling me to come to Biola University. I was actually part of the 30% of Americans who were not planning to get their degree. I was just overwhelmed by the amount of debt that I had had from my first year at a private institution, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, I'll just pay this off, and I'm not going to worry about it, and I'll just be a poor girl for the rest of my life. So I really was shocked that I was supposed to come out here, but I knew I was going to do what I had to do in order to obey the Lord and to follow a dream that I have had since I graduated high school. So I decided to take on 3 different jobs. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and I would go to my gardening job. I worked there until 10:30 in the morning. I managed 12 different properties for landscaping. And then I went to my next job where I was a bank teller. I worked for Chase Bank for 4 hours until 3 p.m. And then I went to my next job where I was a server at a fine dining restaurant by my house. And I worked until about 10:30. And this was while I was in 20 units of fast track courses. And I knew I was going to Biola, so I was in Biola online courses, and Dr. Walter may remember me submitting my papers 1 minute before it was due, but I had the advantage over the Californians because I was 2 hours behind, so I was thank God for that. I could get all my papers in by 1:30 my time, so it was nice. I was cheating the system a little bit. So that was good. I ended up getting phone calls actually every other week where Biola's financial aid would call me and be like, hey, Olivia, there's a new scholarship that you can apply for, or there's student funding that's available to you. And it seemed like every step along the way that I was obeying what I felt I was supposed to do, I was getting a phone call that was encouraging me in that same direction. So I was like, God, if this is really what you have planned for me, then you're going to make it happen, because I'm coming up short every day, and I'm working as hard as I possibly can to make it happen. So the great day came. I ended up at La Mirada, California, the most beautiful place in the world, at Biola University. And I make a joke about it, but it honestly was such a surreal moment to be at the end of one of the hardest summers of my life and step onto campus and be like, wow, I am here, and this is happening, and this dream that I had and this voice that I was following was real, and I'm supposed to be here. So I took on the year, and that was actually last semester. I'm a first-year student at Biola. I'm also a last-year student at Biola, so kind of one and done here. And over this past year, it's been an incredible journey. Will have completed by this May 90 units. My 2 internships, technically 3 internships, but one of them was at the same place. But and then my major and minor in a year, and I spent $20,000 out of pocket to afford online university because it was cheaper to do it that way. So some people are asking how did you do that? Well, I did 3 different universities each semester, and then I would transfer my all the classes that I could possibly transfer from outside of the universities or the online universities so that I could have the experience here at Biola as well. So I took 18 units at Biola, and then I take an additional 12 units online. So last semester I took 30 units, and then over my December break I took 9, and then this semester I took 30 as well, and then I'll take my remaining 3 units over the summertime. So it was crazy, and some people are like, why would you do that to yourself? Well, there's a reason. I'm not crazy. The cost of attendance at Biola after everything is said and done, and if you're living on campus like I was this past year, is around $50,000. That's a huge amount of money. Luckily, I was able to come here because the Biola Average Award is about $20,000. They have an incredible advancement department that I've had the opportunity to be a part of, and that's really helped me see exactly how that affects our lives here, something that as we're going through college, we're not necessarily thinking about who's working on your team to make that a possibility for you. So just so we know, we're actually not alone. I'm not alone. The national average student loan debt is about almost $29,000 by the time you graduate. And the total national debt for college graduates is $1.2 trillion in America, which I think is incredibly too high. The average time that it takes to pay it off is 21 years. You won't quite look like this in 21 years, so sorry for you, those of you who are 21 years older than us. This is not what we think of you. But yeah, so I don't want to wait until I have wrinkles to like be able to pay off my last student loan. That's so discouraging. So how can we make this better? That's something that I want to dedicate my degree to. I want to work in an advancement department in higher education to highlight people's stories to encourage donor funding. That was something that I learned in my past internship. And I learned that how I can apply my degree through journalism is to write stories about people who are just like me, who are doing everything that they possibly can and have this dream to get an education so that they can make a difference in the world and make that a possibility for them, because someone did that for me. And learning that I have this huge responsibility now because of other people's work is something that I really took to heart. It's something that I became super passionate about over this past semester especially. So I made it to graduation and I have my degree now, and I'm thinking about my next steps. I'm thinking about my next steps with somebody else. I'm about to get married this summer. And I'm planning to work for the university that my fiance is going to. He's an incredible guy. He's so smart. He's going to Cornell. He's getting his JD MBA from there. And I would just love to be a part of what he's doing and also be a part of advancing education, because I believe it's so important in making other people's dreams come true. So my dream would be to help future students at Cornell University, the future doctors, the future lawyers, future members of Congress, filmmakers, businessmen. When those people have the dreams, I don't want them to come to the decision of college and be like, what is going on? Like, there's no way, and be like me and the 30% of people who get so discouraged that they just decide not to go. I want them to have that opportunity and think about college and be like, yeah, awesome, I have the funds to do it. I can make my dreams come true. And their journey will not look like Olivia's journey, where they're doing 90 units in a year, because that's crazy. So they get to the top of the summit, they'll get to their summit presentation wherever they are, and they'll really truly come to that point and experience this dream coming true without the burden of finances weighing them down when they're stepping into their first years as a professional adult. So that is what I'm going to do in my life and through my degree.